everyone. My name is Kate.Summers. I am the Neighborhood Advisory Committee Coordinator at ACHIEVEability, and with that, I help oversee the RCO with Kelly. Kelly, could you introduce yourself as well?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Buchanan. I am the RCO co-chair of ACHIEVEability's RCO, and just here to provide you with information from clients and making sure that our communities get the information and have a say in what happens around them. And we're just here to help get that, opportunity out there, or to just carry out our mission by doing that. And I'm glad to see so many of us here, and glad to hear about the proposal.
Yeah, as Kelly said, we take this very seriously. We think community input is incredibly important in building our neighborhood and making it stronger. So we're really grateful for everyone that is here tonight. At the end of the meeting, we will be having a vote on whether you approve or deny the proposal, which we will do through the poll function here on Zoom. And then, so we will get started. And so if people who are associated with the property, if you could introduce yourselves, that would be wonderful.
Yep, I'll start if you don't mind. I'm Vernon Anastasio. I'm the zoning attorney for the applicant, who is Christina Middleton, who's here as well. And we also have the architect who's here for the layout of the restaurant. My address is 1315 Walnut Street, Philadelphia, Suite 1006, 19107. And I believe the RCO has all my correct information. As we did a mailing to everyone who lives within 300 feet of the property, and also provided the exhibit packet that I'm going to show you this evening to the RCO. And if we haven't, we'll do that at some point before the hearing. And thank you all for your hospitality.
Wonderful. Glad you all are here. And who is the architect, just so I can?
Felicia Middleton is right here.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Great.
She can introduce herself. She needs no introduction. She knows what she's doing.
Hi, I am Felicia Middleton, architectural designer for this project, and I'm very familiar with the restaurants all around Philadelphia. My office space is at 9th and Market in Philadelphia. And thank you.
Christina, do you want to say hi? Just unmute yourself first, though, okay? It's okay. Everyone gets that wrong.
Sorry about that.
Everyone gets that wrong.
Hi, my name is Christina Middleton, and I'm actually the owner of the property at North 60th Street, and I am the one that's interested in getting the zoning for the restaurant.
Fantastic. And then if we could just have any of the neighbors or community members who are here, if you could just introduce yourselves as well. Can start. I apologize, I don't remember your name, but who's named Fire Tablet, their username. Oh, sorry, if you could unmute.
Hi, my name is Kathy Hawkins. I'm the committee person, 34th Ward, 3rd Division.
Wonderful.
And the block captain. And plus the state committee person.
Wonderful. So glad you're here.
Okay.
And I'm Janice Carter Lawton, and I'm the block captain for the 100 block of North Edgewood Street.
And Bridget Powell.
Good evening. I am the block captain for the unit block of North Felton Street, and I am the Girl Scout leader of the troops north of Market Street.
Wonderful. And Keithia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keithia Griffiths. I am one of the directors at Achievability. I'm in charge of the Family Self-Sufficiency Program at Achievability. Just here supporting, as also supporting the Community Engagement Department.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for being here and introducing yourselves. So let's have you all if you could introduce the property and what you would like to change within the zoning code.
Yeah, we'll take it from here, okay? Can you all see what I've just shared?
Yes.
Very good. I mean, Christina's a local person who would like to she wants to open a seafood restaurant, which I think is awesome. I'm a pescatarian, so I think, you know, a seafood restaurant, they're few and far between, not too many great ones. I'm sure this is going to be an awesome one, but she would like to use the 161 North 60th Street, first floor, as a sit-down restaurant, and there's 2 family dwelling above, of course. We have gotten refused because the sit-down restaurant is prohibited, as is the 2 family dwelling. 2 family dwelling already exists. Let's talk about the, here's the property in and of itself. It's a, you know, it's a pretty large property. It's a double wide. There's a kitchen in the rear, dining room in the front, rear yard for trash storage. Here are the photos as the current. This is current conditions. This is where the trash will be stored in the rear. Again, commercial trash pickup on a daily basis. This is the interior. That's the deed. I'll save you all that nonsense because for whatever reason it goes on forever. And I will show you that we mailed 200 pieces of mail certified by the Vista Company. Here's the flyer that went out to all folks who live within 300 feet of the property, inviting them to the meeting. We have a tax certification. She is clear until May 19th on taxation. And I think it's a corner property, which of course screams commercial. It's a seafood restaurant to serve the neighborhood. And my client thinks it'll be a benefit to the community. And with that, I'd like to have her raise her hand, say hello. Christina, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. What are the hours of operation?
We're thinking of opening Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. And approximately number of employees that'll be at the site at the same time?
We're looking for between 5 and 6 at any given time.
Okay. And that's front of the house and back of the house, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you'll have commercial trash pickup?
Yes.
Okay. And that trash will be stored in the rear that's completely ensconced by the fencing. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
So neighbors will never see that?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. You'll have lighting and security cameras outside as well, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. I have nothing other to present. I think this is a wonderful addition to the neighborhood. I would welcome feedback from the community. It's again on a corner property. It's a double lot where we'd like to see some commercial activity for not only for quality of life, but for safety and security. And I also think that having a seafood restaurant, I am biased, would be pretty awesome. So with that, I'm going to rest for now.
And could you all talk a little bit about what it is, what's there currently?
I think it's vacant. Is that right, Christina?
Yes, that's correct.
And it's zoned for, could you just, sorry, I should have been more clear, talk about what it's zoned for at the moment.
Well, strangely enough, it's a CMX1 zoning, but it's adjacent to an RSA 5, which is single family residential. And this property has never been single family residential. It's just adjacent to it. So as you can see here, as I put my cursor, it's a CMX1 between RSA 5.
Okay.
CMX1 allows commercial. It just doesn't allow sit-down restaurants.
Mhm.
We have to, so commercial is assumed that it would be a commercial space, but in order to get a sit-down restaurant, we have to go through this process. And I understand why. It's so that you know, as a community, and city council knows that we're taking care of trash, we're doing lighting, and we're doing all the things that need to be done. That's why they put those measures that, in there. If that makes sense. And I welcome feedback.
I would like to ask a question. So in addition to the seafood, is there, what's happening with the dwelling units or the living space or the space that is on top? Does that have anything to do with the residential area? Or,
Well, there'll be one
reason that it was
residence,
zoned?
one residence
I'm
here.
sorry, hang on just a second.
Yep.
Okay, you can go, Vern, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. It's a double wide again. So there's one residential unit here where I'm putting my cursor to the left, and then one residential unit here where I'm circling to the right. So none of that changes.
And are you planning to rent that space out up there?
Well, they would certainly be living spaces for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got a nod from the owner as well. And are the properties, have you all figured out if you are going to be at market rate, below market rate, or above?
I think Christina has communicated to me that they'll be market rate housing. I mean, they certainly couldn't be above market rate. They wouldn't rent. And there's no, this is a really healthy, great neighborhood. There's no reason to have to offer below market rate. It's a great neighborhood.
I was having a question about are we done with the presentation? Is this the question and answer section time?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
So anyone
Okay.
that has questions now is welcome to answer it. You can either unmute and I will call on you, or you can use the raise your hand feature. But Kelly, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. This goes to Vern and Christina. I was just looking at the property, and now we know that there's going to be, the commercial space is going to be used for a sit-down indoor seafood restaurant. And the 2 apartments or housing spaces on top are for 2 families separately. So where is their entrance and exit? Are they coming through the back, or do you have a separate space for that? So that the families are completely separate from, or maybe that goes to Miss Middleton, because
I think
of
Miss
the
Middleton
design.
the design professional can talk to us about that.
It is my understanding, I didn't go upstairs because it was not accessible for us at the time, but I've worked on a property very similar to this. In the rear, you can tell the rear entrance is for the where the steps are in the back. That's for one of the apartments upstairs. And then if you look slightly to the right, now, of course, because this is focused on the restaurant space. It's not showing on the plan, but if you look at the elevation, which is right where Vern's mouse is, well, no, if we can, there's steps and a door. The
Looks like
elevation,
there's two doors
door
on the
goes-
side.
the middle door goes to the restaurant. The
Okay,
rear door goes to the apartment above. And
okay.
then in the front of the unit that's to the right of the corner unit, because this is a double wide, so this used to be two separate spaces that were combined to make one space. So if you look at the front, there's a door, there's steps in a door that goes up to the second unit. Vern, it's right where the front elevation would be on top, right
Right
there.
here?
Yeah, that door goes upstairs.
Okay.
Am I correct, Christine?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, and I can just tell that architecturally looking inside, you can see the stairwell from the floor plan is you can put a closet underneath the stairs there. So just from the floor plan layout, that's the way it would be. Once we get further, we document all of that, but that's the way the layout would show.
And of course, Felicia will work with Christina in getting the certificate of occupancy and all of that. So all of that will be covered and taken care of.
Miss Janice Carter, I saw that you unmuted earlier. Do you have a question? Does anyone else have any questions about the property? Oh, Miss Janice, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. I was asking, was the refusal because of the sit-down restaurant?
Yes, we got two refusals, the sit-down restaurant and the two-family dwelling. Two-family dwelling is easy to deal with because it's two separate properties, even though it's all on one deed. But the sit-down restaurant is exactly, CMX 1 allows for commercial use, but not a sit-down restaurant. You have to go for something a little extra for that, and that's why we're here.
My name is Kathy Hawkins. I'm the committee. I have a problem with that because I think the community should be have a meeting at Achievability or somewhere. So the people, we don't want to make the decision and the neighbors be after us trying to have something put in the neighborhood like that. Because of a crime and stuff like that, that's my concern. With people living up on the second floor, you don't know what kind of people may be living there. And that's my concern about people being in the restaurant and being housed as an apartment over top of a restaurant.
Well, it's already zoned for residential above, but I respect and understand any position you might take, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make you happy.
Okay,
And
because
to address any and all concerns.
I know
Okay.
it has been empty over 20 some odd years. That used to be the Farm Mission Board, which I was a part of. And right now I understand what the person is trying to do, but right now I'm not happy with what is being presented, having apartments over top of a sit-down restaurant. Until I have my community more involved.
Okay, Miss Huggins, I'm sorry. So I'm trying to get everything that you're saying. You're concerned that because there are people living upstairs and there's a restaurant downstairs where the community or people in the community could be, and then you don't know what type of people are living there. So certain things can happen. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. And you also feel that you need to get this information out to more people close to this property so that they can all come together and make a collective decision.
Right.
Okay, and did you realize that today was the day for such a thing to happen?
Yes, I did. I've been calling Councilman Curtis Jones' office. I spoke to Mr. Corn and I talked to Mr. Lane, asking him to ask Curtis to have a community meeting, because this is the way we all time did when things like this come in our community.
Okay, I think this is probably one of the good things to come into our community, but I do want to make sure that your concerns are heard. And I do also, Christina and Miss Middleton, I do have a little thing that I'm not clear about with the exit and the entrance. So I don't know if, you know, we're probably gonna have to see what everyone else says, of course. And then maybe we will have to have an additional meeting with more people involved. But also, I don't know how you can answer to that based on what Ms. Huggins and I just put out there. I think that's about 3 different things in one.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Okay.
And tell me if I fail. That's cool. I get it, you know. The Planning Commission gave us addresses to everyone who needs to be notified of the meeting. And we mailed out notices to 200 separate households. We explained to them in this notification, which is not loaded up with any kind of legal verbiage, exactly what we were applying for: sit-down restaurant on the first floor with 2 dwelling units above. And we stated why we were refused, because it's in the CMX1 commercial district, which allows for more, office space, accountant, law office, doctor's office. Sit-down restaurants is asking for a little bit more, and that's why we're here. So we've done that. Councilman Curtis Jones's office, of course, has been copied on everything. And everyone got mailed based on that was a certified piece of evidence that we have. I'm not quite sure what else I'm sorry. Tell me what else I can give you, and I'll give it to you, or we'll make it happen. My client wants to work with the community. That's why we're here. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Yeah.
Right.
This is this is commercially zoned. It's just a matter of, is it a office space or is it a sit-down restaurant? The 2-family dwelling above, I don't think anybody wants it vacant, right? These are these are 2 separate properties on one deed. It's a double wide again, and it's 1 large apartment per floor per side, which I think makes sense. It's pretty reasonable.
Is the resident area, is it currently occupied or is it vacant at the moment?
Christina?
It's vacant at the moment.
Okay. And we have all separate entrances. So
Excuse me, because it's been vacant over 30-some years.
Right.
About
all the
25 years. It's been vacant. That used to belong to the Foreign Mission Baptist Convention.
Wow, that's a long time. I think I did see that somewhere in the notes. And well, due to that, then congratulations, Christina, for being able to point out that there was a vacant property there for so long and rehab it and try to bring it alive on a corner that is going to take your employees to do some help across the street, if you know what I mean. Okay.
Yes. And she knows what you mean.
It's cleared up. But
she knows what you mean
congratulations
on
to
that.
you for that.
Thank you.
I just,
this is Bridget. Can I ask a question?
My client has a vision. I just want to state briefly, she has a vision. I've talked to her on numerous occasions. I really believe in her. I mean, this is a sister with a vision to make this property thrive and sing. And I just would love to see you get behind her and support her on this. You're not supporting me, you're supporting her.
And Bridget Powell, you have a question?
I do. Let me see how to do this. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I guess I was a little confused as to one of the apartments where they would be exiting, and I guess if I'm looking at it right, it would be the property of the lower number, 161 maybe, not the corner house, the corner property. Where would they be exiting?
Okay, I'll answer that question. So each property has an entrance on different sides of the, so it's almost like they're two separate buildings. Just imagine them being two separate buildings because they were at one time. One of the upstairs properties, apartments has an entrance in the back, which is the rear entrance all the way, the entrance, the door that's all the way in the back near the rear yard. The second door that you see on the side goes into the restaurant. Then there's a front door that leads to the restaurant, which is in the center. And then there's another front door that leads upstairs that's on the side. It looks like it's a door to another house, but it's actually a door that goes upstairs to the apartment above the second side of that double wide.
Is it where I'm pointing my
Exactly. That's
cursor,
actually,
Felicia?
yes, that's the stairwell that goes up. You can't see it because that you wouldn't enter there. You would actually enter up those steps, which goes.
It's
above.
up here, right? Up in here,
Exactly.
right here.
Those steps that goes above the restaurant and it goes upstairs right there.
And what is this? 60th Street here?
That's 60th Street going across.
Okay. And here's the seafood restaurant, and here's the door to the other apartment.
Exactly.
And then on the side street, there's the other entrance to the second apartment. Is that right?
Exactly. That's all the way in the back, and then that middle
Right
door.
here.
Yes.
Goes
that
into the
middle door
restaurant
goes
as
into the
well.
restaurant. Yeah. So
For
there's
staff and kitchen help and whatnot. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, and then here's the second part to my question. I think you had up the paper where the refusal was. There's two listed, and I was trying
Yes.
to read it because it said something about the apartments,
Yes.
and I was
The
trying to understand
two-family
what the denial was.
Well, two-family dwelling is prohibited in the CMX1 because it assumes that a CMX1 is one parcel. This is two parcels on one lot. And that's why that a refusal was generated. Because
Gotcha. I
as you can
understand
see,
now. I
it's
understand.
one here and one there. One to the left and one to the right.
Okay.
It's a double lot,
um,
and this doesn't, because it's a one large lot that's CMX1, it doesn't recognize that it's a double lot.
Excuse me. I got
Yeah.
another
I don't-
question. Where will these people park their cars when they come to this restaurant? We already have a parking problem around here in this community. So where would they be parking?
Well, Christina's target audience is the actual immediate neighborhood. So we, because it's a sit-down restaurant it's not a commercial area. So she expects that most of her clientele will be people who just walk to the, to the local restaurant. So that's her plan. She's not looking to market to folks outside of the community to come in. She believes, and I think she's done the research, that there's a need for a restaurant in the neighborhood. And again, this is already zone commercial, and it certainly would benefit the neighbors to have a space that's active, that's open, that's vibrant on the corner, instead of just a vacant property that's been fallow for so long,
Miss Carter, did you have another question? Does anyone else? Oh, go ahead. Yes.
Yes, I have another question. I never got an answer to the capacity for the sit down area?
Christina, do we have any idea what the numbers would be, what the fire department's gonna say, or that'll be determined later?
Yeah, that'll be determined later.
Yeah, that's part of the CO. We can't get a CO without knowing how many folks are allowed in the premises. But I think she testified today that number of employees is just about a handful, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Space isn't that big, so we can't have too many folks in there for sure.
So you don't know.
That's all determined by the, once you get a zoning permit, then you get a certificate of occupancy, and that's the time when that is determined. So that's not something we would know right now.
Okay. And I'm still concerned. Kathy brought up the parking issue. I live on Edgewood Street, and the back of my house, I can see the building clearly. So I know about the entrances and the exits. There is a bus stop right there for the 46. There are limited parking spaces for the residents, let alone even if people walk up. I need to understand what kind of hours you're talking about. And I would like to have an answer about the capacity.
Well, we're not going to have a capacity answer until the CO and the fire department gets involved, which is after the zoning.
But an approximate
like,
for that, Vern, if you want.
Yeah, we can. Well, Felicia can give me an approximate. Sure.
It could be if you could zoom into the floor plan. I just need to look at the number real quick of
Sure, no problem. And again, Christina again could talk about the hours of operation. I thought she brought that up. I'm sorry if she didn't.
Yes, the hours of operation was that we were thinking of was Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay, so only 5 days a week, closed by 10 p.m. You know, no liquor license, nothing bananas.
Vern,
right?
could you just zoom a little bit more?
You got it, Felicia. Whatever you need.
Sorry, I'm gonna have my glasses on.
That's okay. I know what that's like.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
More?
That's good. That's good.
Okay. I don't know how blind you are.
I know.
Go ahead. I'm gonna look up something while you're doing that.
You do your thing.
Do we have other comments or questions while they are finding the answer to the approximate capacity question?
Well, while she's looking for the capacity answer, what happens after this meeting? You just apply again, or do we have another zoning hearing, or how does that work?
Well, procedurally, Kate, do you want to handle that or me?
Yes, so from here, once we get towards the end of this, we will have a vote for the neighbors and community members that are here.
Excuse me all for 1 minute, okay? I'll be right back.
Yes, to decide whether you approve or deny that. From there, we will take all of the concerns and things that we talked about today and create a letter that we will send to the zoning board, letting them know either our approval or denial of the property.
And the 200 residents, I check with my neighbors on my particular block, and the only people that received this notice was myself and my co-captain. I asked several neighbors. They didn't know what I was talking about. They never got a letter.
Right, so Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, but from there, then we can canvass the block to get a better idea of what people think of the property in order to inform the decision further.
Right, that will be correct. I do want to ask a question of whoever can answer. from the presenting team. I see that the notice was mailed out, but I don't see where. Did you send it to the list that was given to you
Yes, of
from the
course.
zoning board?
Yes, of course.
Okay, 'cause-
We have the certification.
Well, we have the certification, but we don't have the addresses. And Miss Janice was saying that she didn't get one. Now, we do understand it doesn't
No,
have
I
to,
got one, and my
but nobody
co-captain got
else.
one, but nobody else on my block.
Okay, I can give you the
Excuse
list.
me. I spoke to the block captain in the unit block of Millick Street, Tony, and she said she didn't know nothing about it because I was trying to get her on the Zoom meeting, but she said she had another meeting to go to, so she couldn't get on it. So I need, because it wasn't for Janice, I wouldn't have never known nothing about it. Because that is a part of my ward that the 34th ward, even though it's not on our side, but it's on the other side, in the 4th ward.
Yeah, I'll be happy to. I think the RCO received the list of addresses when I did. My office did at least. And they have the addresses of the 200 addresses that were mailed on April 12th, 2021, which is certified, as you can see here that I'm presenting. But and this is the flyer that was mailed.
Can I ask another question? Was the ward leader in the 4th ward, Mr. Campbell, was he notified about this meeting, this zoning hearing tonight? And I know my Congressman Bob Brady didn't know nothing about it because I brought it to his attention on Saturday when I was with him in a meeting.
Yeah, Bob Brady's not an RCO, and therefore we're not required to let him know anything. As far as your ward leader is concerned, if he's a registered RCO, then he would be, it would be required by our office to notify him, which we do automatically as a matter of course. We do 100 of these cases a year, so we know exactly who to notify. The Planning Commission tells us exactly who to contact.
So the ward leaders are not allowed no more to be notified when something coming in the community no more?
If a ward leader is a registered community organization that the Planning Commission and the city council person identifies as an important person to notify, then we are required to do so. But if they are not identified as such, then they won't be notified because they won't be on the list that's provided to us by the Planning Commission.
Right, and Miss Kathy, I just want you to know that I understand how you feel about the other superiors in the community having the information, but that's why they have community people like you and me to let them know and to ask them if they can come. But the requirements of the client is to let the people in a 4-block radius know. So even though you have a ward leader, if he's living on the other side and not in a 4-block radius of whatever property is being called out on, then he's not gonna get the firsthand information from the property.
Okay,
Just so that you understand that.
Excuse me, Kelly, but Mr. Campbell lives right there at 59th and Vine, and he is the ward leader for the 4th ward. So he lives right around the corner from where this building is.
Right. I don't know if you have a copy of the addresses, Vern, that you could pull up for us, as we go through, but
I don't,
I
Kelly.
understand
I have a copy of the addresses. It's not part of my package. It's typically never part of my package, but it's the same list that you received by the RCO notification folks. But
and everybody on that
forward it to
address list was mailed the notice.
According to this certificate of bulk mailing, and this is evidentiary a document for court, 200 pieces of mail were sent out to 200 different addresses, and we'll be happy to again furnish you with the addresses that I know you've received from the Planning Commission. But I don't mind doing it again. It's fine. And
excuse me, and you know how the mail is running. The mail is not good no more.
Right.
You get letters. I had a letter come to me from about a month ago.
And that's a real issue.
It's a
That's
real
why-
issue. A lot of
that's why-
people didn't get this notice about this meet,
So
about
that's
this
why
zone.
even though we only need to provide 10 days notice, we mailed on April 12th, intentionally understanding that there's a lag in the first class mail system right now. So we try to do our due diligence is making sure that we get our stuff out early. Again, I do 100 of these a year. I don't have time to sit on stuff. So as they come out, we have to crank it out.
And
because-
so that's because there is this concern that there hasn't been enough neighbor input. We can go out and speak directly to the neighbors and let them know what the idea is for this property and get their input as well. That is something that we're happy to do.
And also,
Oh, yes, go ahead.
well, I'm not, I grew up in this neighborhood. I'm really trying to put something into the neighborhood that's just, family-based, neighborhood-based, just to create jobs for my, fellow neighbors, and just a small, it's also going to be takeout, but I just want to create a small space where families and friends can get together, maybe 10 tables, nothing too much, just family and friends getting together, maybe for a birthday party or, just a birthday brunch, birthday dinner. Just something, in the neighborhood that we can find as our own space just to socialize with each other. Because I grew up in that neighborhood, and unfortunately my parents, did not have a car. So we couldn't leave the neighborhood to go to a lot of these big restaurants and a lot of these things. So I wanted to bring something to my people where we can sit and laugh and just enjoy, just on certain occasions, nothing, nothing with noise, nothing, there's no alcohol being served, just good meal, good laughter, and just good fun. That's, my intentions of what I'm trying to bring to the neighborhood. Nothing large, just, maybe 10 tables, takeout available, just, and we may have families that, want to rent the space for a birthday party, for a grandparent, for a daughter, for, a graduation, just a little gathering just for a few people. Nothing loud, nothing, that's not my intention to cause any type of, disruption to the neighborhood. I just want to bring something where we can have a space for us, where we can have jobs for the fathers who, probably don't have a car. They can just walk down the street and, work with us. Mothers who don't, probably have a car also, who can just walk down the street and get a job. Just something that we can just call our own. That's all, that's my intentions. That's it.
And Christina is a remarkable person. It doesn't happen often that I come across a client who I really believe in her vision. I believe in all my clients' visions, but she's coming from the heart. It's not the bottom line. She wants to breathe new life into that corner. It's a commercial corner. And I believe she can do it, and she can do it in a way that's responsible, respectful, and really rejuvenating for that particular part of that block. So with that, we're going to rest. I don't want to try and convince anyone of anything. I just want to, this is who she is. These are her values. This is her belief. This is her vision and her dream. And I ask that you I respectfully request that you support her on this. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for answering all of the questions. I see some people might still be unmuted, so I just want to get any final comments before we do the vote.
I just wanted to say one last thing. Her capacity is going to be varied according to how big her kitchen is, because it's based on the square footage. There's a certain amount of square footage allowed per person, but because we don't have the exact size of the kitchen figured out yet, it's going to be larger than what we have there in the layout. It's going to probably be less than what the square footage that's allowed in that space will be, less than what's showing there, because we want to enlarge the kitchen a little bit. So just wanted to let you know that the capacity is not going to be as much as you might think it is. But it all does vary according to the overall square footage of the dining area.
So as of right now, what are you thinking? 1 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms?
Oh, upstairs?
I thought you meant the capacity of.
We're just talking about the restaurant. Sorry. Upstairs.
I thought she had a question about the apartments upstairs.
The apartments, whatever they are, they are. What are they? 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments?
Two
They
bedroom.
are. They're already there. Yeah, it's 2-bedroom apartments.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought you meant all this time. I thought you were looking for the capacity of the restaurant. I apologize.
No, that was my question.
Yeah, the apartments are already laid out, 2 bedrooms each, and there's
Yeah,
only
and my
2 of them, one per parcel, which is standard.
I
my
just heard her
capacity-
mention something about parties. And I guess my concern is how does that work if you're gonna open up a restaurant with certain hours? So my biggest concern is when there's a party. We've all starting to hear about people gathering at parties. So
No.
is that a certain time of the day? And it's gonna take away from the restaurant hours that the people
It would
in the
have to take,
neighborhood-
yeah, it could not be before hours or after hours. If someone were to rent out the entire restaurant and have, let's say, a communion luncheon or something like that, then they would be able to do that, but they could only do it within those hours and the times of the restaurant provided in our proviso, which we've discussed already.
So people in the neighborhood would be notified? Like, how would I know not to come on a Sunday at 1 o'clock because there's a party?
There'd be a sign in the window saying that we're closed for a private event. Believe me, not that it's going to happen much. I mean, I think most of what we're going to see is a typical restaurant.
And from what I understood that you were saying, that you were more talking about that perhaps people will get a table or two to gather for a celebration of a birthday. You won't be closing the restaurant for large parties.
That's correct. I mean, that's not her intent at all.
Mhm.
But if again, my dad turned 75 this year. We all wanted to go out to a restaurant and a big table, and 12 of us, 15 of us. Of course, with COVID, we could not do that, but this would afford someone in the community to be able to do that. And that's, I think, what she's trying to do, create a community table in a restaurant.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Do you know how many people are actually on this call?
So from what of the neighbors, I believe that it is 3 neighbors. And so that is why we talked about once we get your all's input, or now that we have your all's input, we will go out and canvass the block as well.
Okay.
Kelly, do you
Yes,
have
I
any?
definitely think you need to canvas because I know we missed out in the 100 block of North Felton Street when he was on. So we did not get these notifications.
Okay, great.
Yes, I just wanted to add that based on the amount of people that we have here and the people who are, on the presenting side and community people, we can do a vote, and then we will need to
Yes.
canvas.
Yes.
And I'll check with Vista to see if they've received any return mail as well.
Okay, wonderful. So I am about to send out the poll.
And who's allowed to vote for the poll?
So yeah, so the property owner, the architect, Mr. Anastasio, you all cannot vote.
Yeah, please call me Vern, but thank you. Yeah, we can exit, and then we'll hear about the vote tomorrow. Is that good?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you all for your hospitality and your kindness. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, I'm having, my computer is, so, sorry, one moment. I am getting it ready. Okay. So I am sending it out now. So it should be popping up on your screen. So it's yes, no, and tentatively. The tentatively is if once we speak to the neighbors and that we do get that good number of community input.
Yes, I think, I'm not sure if we will need to have another meeting, but if we do, we'll, you'll hear back from Vern with the lettering again. So Miss Huggins, you can what's your address, by the way? Because I'm not sure if you're gonna be on the list. I want to make sure. If
My
you could put that
address-
in the chat, or just
6119
Yes.
Ray. 6119 Ray Street.
And
Okay, yeah, I think that will be close. Yes.
additionally, we will be posting this meeting on YouTube, and we'll be sharing it to the Achievability Facebook page. So if anyone wants to go back and watch it or send that link to someone, you're more than welcome to as well.
Yes.
Any other
All right.
final questions? We did get all of the votes.
No, I didn't vote and my
Oh, you-
screen was black.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
okay. It should pop up for you. Is it not popping up for you?
No, I still have a black screen. I don't know why.
You can give me, if you are comfortable, you can give me the verbal, your verbal vote, and I will mark that down. If not, you can send me a private message in the chat.
Okay. My response is no.
No? Okay, thank you. Okay. Just gonna write this all down.
Did you get mine?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Miss Janice,
Yes.
can you tell me your address, please, just so we know when we go out and canvas?
Oh, okay.
I have it in my mind. I have it written down, just so I don't have to go searching and trying to figure it out. Can you tell me
Okay,
what your address is? Because you said you did get it.
Yes, I did get the letter. 159 North
Yes.
Edgewood.
Okay.
And thank you all again so much for being here. We're really grateful for the time that you took and the input that you had on this property. We will be writing this up. Once again, we'll be going out to get more neighbor input because we just know how important that is. And once again, we really appreciate you all being here tonight.
Yes. Thank you so
You're
much. And you'll hear back about it somehow.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being
Thank you
here.
for coming. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, everyone.
Thank you.